Welcome to I Can't Make This Shit Up. I'm your host, Joe Garner, and welcome back to the show. Tonight we are doing the season premiere. This is season 2, and we are doing a 2-part episode for the kickoff to the season. So tonight I'm going to be talking about what's happened since the last episode back in season 1, all the craziness and catching up we have to do. And then from there, I'm going to be talking about a documentary / interview I watched recently done by the Invisible People at Invisible People on YouTube. And they interviewed Alixe Dittmore from the National Harm Reduction Coalition. And the topic was the war on harm reduction and recovery first, and how it's a death sentence. So I'll be talking about some concepts and kind of basically my take on why this is the best harm reduction interview I've ever seen, and how they explain recovery first, harm reduction, substance use, and just a lot of different topics all under the same blanket as recovery and harm reduction and how they coincide, and just all of this mashed into one interview, and it's delivered so well. So I'm going to talk about that, and then I will go into my views of recovery and my relationship with substance use and how it has shaped me and my views on harm reduction, and why I'm drawn towards harm reduction so much, and how it has impacted my life, and how I've gotten to where I'm at now. So I hope you guys watch the episode, and if you don't catch it here live, go ahead and download it, check it out later. This episode is definitely super deep and very personal, and I'm really, really excited to kick off season 2 and get into the swing of the show. So, all right, without any further delay, I am going to start by talking about, we left off back in June. So what has happened since the spring, really? I'll start by talking about, since season 1 started, I started a nonprofit organization called Safe Steps Initiative. I think I talked a little bit about it in the first season. Everyone that works for the organization, I personally hired and picked to be on my staff because of their relationship with the opioid epidemic and how it has impacted their life, and what they are doing now to give back and to try to make sure nobody else dies from this health crisis. I love my team. I have the best people, unfortunately, because of the way the government is currently and the budget cuts that Trump has done to Medicaid. Our funding has been cut by billions, and it has made it so harm reduction services are very, very limited. And government funding from SAMHSA, who is one of the um, biggest giver of grants to harm reduction organizations and nonprofits, they put out a memo that states harm reduction services are, these are what's covered and this is what's not covered. So the funding will cover wound care supplies. It will cover Narcan, and it will cover testing strips, fentanyl and xylazine testing strips. It will not cover clean syringes, clean waters, clean cottons, clean cookers, anything that has to do with safe use, it will no longer cover. So that's a big issue with a lot of our organizations because syringe service programs are one of the foundations of harm reduction and really one of the biggest concepts that harm reduction is all about. Making sure people that use substances have clean supplies to use. It's so important. And it just blows my mind that it's no longer being covered by SAMHSA with grant money. So because of these budget cuts, I had to put a hold on the organization and put it kind of on the back burner for right now because I need to get more informed on everything that's going on politically and how organizations are handling things currently and how the outlook for the future, um, the outlook for the future and how, if our organization is even going to have a chance with all of this going on. So that has been put on pause, unfortunately, and I am going to come back to that at a later date. I have still continued to see my recovery coach clients, and I'm still doing that on the side whenever somebody needs my help or if they've been referred to me by someone. I am still more than willing to take on new clients for that purpose. I love recovery coaching. It's something that is one of the most important aspects of my life, and helping people is all I've ever wanted to do. Being able to share my experiences and my story to people that are going through the same thing I've been through, it's so rewarding and so uplifting and empowering. It really makes or breaks someone's recovery. And I'll get more into that later with the interview. So I'm not going to go too deep into that now, but I love recovery coaching. I love my clients, and I know that I've helped a lot of people, and I know that I have that my story has changed people's lives. And that's all that matters. So I'm still doing that. I did get a job working at a hotel here in Grand Rapids. I am bartending full time, so I'm doing that, just to be able to make a living and take care of my bills and my financial responsibilities. So I work 4 days a week. Usually I do 4 days on, 3 days off. So it's nice. I get, a decent amount of time to relax and, take care of what I need to take care of throughout the week because, my days are all in a row and then I go back to work. I love what I do. I've been bartending 18 years on and off since I was 18, and it's always been something that I can fall back on. It's good money, usually. Um, and there's pretty much always a guaranteed job out there. People always go out to eat. That will forever happen. And so, which is great because it gives me something to fall back on if whatever I'm doing isn't panning out or I need extra money. So I've been doing that full time, and that's pretty much what has been going on in my life as far as employment goes and work wise. It keeps me pretty busy. Let's see. After that, what else? So I have separated from Drew, my husband. I found out that there were some without divulging all of my business and my entire marriage. I'll just say that I was deceived and things were not as they seemed. So I decided to separate from Drew and take some time to focus on myself. So that was right around 4th of July. From there, I did end up getting into a new relationship. And unfortunately, as much as I wanted this relationship to work and as much as I cared about the person, it was not what I thought it was. And I was lied to, I was cheated on, and I was manipulated and used and made to look like a complete idiot. And it really took a toll on me. It messed me up bad. This relationship fucked up my head, and I'm still recovering from it. This person took an ungodly large amount of money from me. Did not steal it, but I gave this person a lot of money. And, stabbed me in the back, betrayed me. It really collapsed my entire world. After everything I did for this person, after it all. And it makes me angry more than anything now because I feel so dumb that I didn't see what was going on. But I'm somebody that likes to give people the benefit of the doubt and I try to see the good in people. And that usually ends up going disastrously wrong for me. And it always ends up leaving me in a fucked up situation in the end. So, from July until the end of October, I was in a basically fake relationship and thought I was with somebody that cared about me, loved me. Um, I wasn't. So that really impacted the last 6 months of my life and basically everything surrounding me. Right at the start of the relationship, we took a vacation to Traverse City. I really, really felt like the happiness was genuine, that it was a great trip. Um, I thought we had a lot of fun. And I was wrong. From there, it, you know, stayed okay for the first like month and a half, 2 months. Um, but it slowly started to go wrong. For instance, he started not coming home at night. And that really bothered me. Um, he wouldn't answer my text messages or my calls for days at a time. Um, and I should have been like, look, I'm done. You can't even answer my phone calls. You can't answer my texts. It's been hours, gone into days, and I haven't heard from you. I'm done. That's what I should have done. That's what I should have said. But no, I just let the shit slide. So it started to turn bad at the end of August, and the shit only got worse to where like he wasn't coming home just at night. It was he wasn't coming home for days at a time. Um, Left his dog with me, basically making me just a glorified dog sitter. Um, in the process, I ended up selling my vehicle because the engine went out on it. So I had to do that. So I was left without a vehicle for quite some time. That was really frustrating and irritating. Um, yeah, so I wasn't able to go when I needed to go, when I wanted to go. Um, Super frustrating. After that, uh, my birthday came around the corner, and that was pretty much. Oh, let me back up. In September, at the end of September, I had bought us tickets to the Summer of Sins Festival, which is a big camp out music festival, lots of concerts, and the people performing just happen to be my favorite artists, like top favorite artists. Uh, there's FJ Outlaw, Lil White, Struggle, Yellow Wolf, Doobie, Caskey, Coleman Lane, Ritz. Let's see. Who else? King ISO. So right there, that's 9 artists that I love right off jump. So I got us tickets. It was for one day only. It was for Saturday. And I was so excited about it because, we had the same music on our playlist, and I thought that was, something cool that we had in common. We went to the concert. I thought we had a good time. We came back, and I started thinking that anytime I really wanted to spend time with him, I had to basically plan a trip for us out of town. That's how I was feeling, because when we were, actually home, I couldn't get him to spend time with me. He was always off doing other shit, and I was left here by myself. So that started to get pretty fucking old. I think the biggest eye opener for when I started to really realize that he wasn't about me was when we were at the casino down at Firekeepers in Battle Creek, and he attempted to order me breakfast. He'd woken up before me and went down, ordered breakfast, and he ordered me a Bloody Mary and a veggies something or other farmer's omelet. Anybody that knows me and has eaten with me knows that I'm not a huge fan of vegetables. I'm super picky about the ones that I do eat. Breakfast foods for me are like oatmeal, fruit, pancakes, waffles, yogurt, etc. Sweet things, not vegetables. And I've never, ever, ever been one to drink Bloody Marys because I fucking hate tomatoes. So that should have been right there. That should have been my first clue and biggest clue that he doesn't pay attention to you or what you like, anything. Hello, get the fuck out of here. Seriously? No. So after that, I, started getting really depressed, and it was just not a good situation. I wasn't talking to Drew at all. I just stopped talking to him altogether. And finally, when my birthday came around, I was really feeling pretty detached from him, and he broke up with me a couple different times actually. So the first time he broke up with me, he sent me a message pretty much stating that he didn't want to be in a committed relationship and that he was going to stay with his parents, and it didn't mean that we wouldn't be together later on, but right now he just needs to get his shit together and figure his life out. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, cool. That same night, he came and picked me up from work, knowing his truck was on its last leg, and still brought me home. And because the truck decided to die as we were parking, and he was super, super sick with a cold slash sinus infection thing, I offered to have him just stay here and, we figure shit out in the morning, whatever. Well, that turned into basically he never moved out. He was still here. We were still doing whatever, and it was basically still the same. Nothing really changed. So that was the first time he broke up with me. The second time he broke up with me, well, I guess it wasn't really the second time, but it became very apparent that we were not together. So I stopped saying, I love you, stop calling him babe, um, no more kiss goodbye type shit. And basically just kept it very brief, when it came to our interactions. And then he went to jail. That's when things completely changed. When he called me from jail, because he texted me and told me he was getting arrested. He had warrants out for his arrest for unpaid fines. So he texted me that he was getting arrested, and I ended up getting a call several hours later stating he was, in jail. He has court in the morning. We'll find out the bond and yada, yada, yada. This dude cried to me on the phone, played me completely, was 360-degree complete change. Turned around all the way. All of a sudden it was, I love you, babe, I miss you, please get me out of here, I'll pay you back every penny, yada, yada, yada. $1,400 to bond him out of jail because it was the cost of the fines. $1,458 to be exact. And it took me only 3 days to get it together because I'm a fucking idiot. All right, guys, I am going to take a brief break and we will come back in just a few minutes. So I'm going to end the stream now and we will come back in just a few minutes to the next part of the show and I will continue my story. Okay, I'll see you soon.